Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lynda Spraner. I'm from the St. Charles Public Library. I have my colleague here with me today, Chris Stack.
Hi.
I'm not sure who caller CEO is. Thank you for coming. Crystal had sent me out an email that we will disband this group after today because of everyone's getting their information in different ways, and this was important at first when we were learning the module and everything like that, but it now has become maybe even obsolete. But at least today I would like to share with you how I figured out how to work with search interest and be successful. I know it's been very frustrating. I talk up search interest like crazy and then it crashes on us, but you can still use it if you try these things. And what you do is you create your search interest just like any other time, or use the ones you already have. Just split your screen, and I use Excel just because of the gridness of it. It keeps my work organized. I split the screen with a blank Excel worksheet. And then I just go down the lists of the suggested titles, and I cut and paste, or I copy and paste into the Excel document, the ones I want to go to the shelf and pull. There's a bunch of benefits about actually doing it this way, because when search interest lists are created, it actually places a hold. And you have to make sure you pull the right copy of that book off if you have more than one sitting there. With the way I'm doing it with the Excel sheet, it doesn't matter which copy you grab because there is no hold being placed. And if you can't find the book, it won't show up in a few days or bump to another library to fill. And I used to have that problem a lot, where if mine wasn't on the shelf, 3 days later, I would get it from another library, and that wastes the other library's time, Rail's time, my time, and keeps the book out of somebody else's hands for 3 or 4 days. It places the titles in the patron's history, just like if you went to the shelf and pulled off a book and checked out to them. So you're still having that benefit. And then that also will remove it from the search interest suggestion list, because now it's in their history, and search interest will know not to give you that title again. And when I put it in the Excel worksheet, I alphabetize by the author's last name. So my first column, my A column is the author with last name first, and my second column is a title. And lots of times I don't even bother with the whole title. I just put a partial title in. You can quickly sort that using Excel to alphabetize it for you. So going to the shelf and pulling your books is super easy. I've been using it this way for a couple of months now, and it's just as fast as if you could create the list via search interest. So I hope that's helpful to everyone. I had shared this with Marquita. I also shared it with Broward County, Florida, because they called me one day and said, "What's up with this search interest thing?" And they were very happy. There was 4 people in the room, and they kept saying, "This could work, this could work, this could work." And I was really glad to be able to help them.
That's great. So all the way from Florida, you're getting a call about how to help them. That's amazing.
Yes. I have one. I've helped a lady in Canada too. That's my farthest reaching one, I guess.
Wow. That's great.
And then I hope everyone is using the Blue Cloud Analytic reports to help them with their stats. We use one in particular for our overdue lists, and we had it created. I think we have some people here that work with Swan all the time, and they helped us create the ones we needed, Dawn and Crystal as well. And the one I use probably the most is the overdue list, because getting all of those notices one at a time is overwhelming when you have 20, you've checked out 35 books to a facility on a Friday, but when you go back to get them, it's a Monday, so everything is considered overdue. I started just deleting all those emails, and I can use the BCA reports to tell me what I need to be looking for when I go into my facility. And then I also know who I need to bug to get stuff back from. And we also have one that does our circulation for us. So when it's the end of the month and I have to turn in our circ stats to my supervisor, who then turns it into our manager, and it goes into a board report, it creates this wonderful little Excel box that itemizes the types of materials we checked out and gives us a grand total of how many things we took out. And we're running around in the 800 items a month pieces that we're taking every month now, just in printed material and audios. And we would have to sit here and do that manually counting if we didn't have these reports. Plus, this is way more accurate because if we checked it out, it's being counted.
That's great. I just wanted to point out, if you've never seen these reports, you could find them under you would log in to your Blue Cloud analytics, and you would go through SwanLib, shared reports, Swan reports, and then there is an outreach folder. Within that outreach folder, so this is kind of where all the Swan reports live, and then we do have an outreach folder. We've created those specific reports that Lynda's referring to. We do have count, and we do have list reports. So we do have, if you see something here that, if you're using these reports, if you see something here that you're like, great, but I need a little bit more information, or I need this, tweaked a specific way, just put in a ticket and let us know, and we can try to work with you all. So yeah.
Yeah, in my case, they've actually given me something called My Reports, and I just have to click on that, and it separates out St. Charles reports from all the other shared reports. And in one case, and I'm not sure how it got that way, I think Julie here knows how to do it. She actually put in the parameters for that report, so all I have to click is Run Report. But I'm not sure how she did that. So the other reports that have been created since then, I have to go and choose St. Charles. And I did this morning, I was looking at something, and it did just have our drive-up window as one of the choices, not St. Charles alone. It just said St. Charles drive-up window. So I'm not sure if I chose that, if I would get everything, because very rarely do we have an outreach item go to the drive-through window.
Okay.
But yes, BCA reports, yay.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun getting them.
To do our stats at the end of the month. Of course, we have stuff that doesn't fall under there because we circulate things that have been withdrawn, or just pieces of paper that we have to keep track of, but it sure does help with the actual check-outable items.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that these have worked out for you so well. I know we had you guys testing everything for a while for us, seeing what would work and what wouldn't. So
yeah, the secret to one of them was we had to have the name of the facility in the care of slot when we created the user record, so that it could tell which facility had what. And it also helps us remember what facility that person's in. So it was a good thing for everybody.
That's great.
I have been having a tiny problem when we have a new facility and we've been adding patrons like crazy. So I was using the copy person part of, and I'm getting an error message after about 2 or 3 of them, but I can't remember exactly what it says.
Oh,
so
no.
the next time I create that problem, I'll snip it and send it to you.
Yeah, just put in a ticket and we'll try to see what's going on. Hopefully it's not another
Yeah, I can get,
glitch.
it takes 1 or 2, but our circulation department never puts people in bunches like that, so
Yeah.
they had no idea. And I just go in and treat them as if, they're new, and I can still get them in there. I just can't use the copy user
Yeah.
feature consistently.
Okay. Yeah, if you recreate it, just screenshot us the issue and to help@swanlibraries.net, and then we'll be someone will look into it and get back to you for sure.
Okay. I can't remember what the error message says right now. Okay, well, that's about all I have.
Okay, it looks like there's an open forum time. I know we talked specifically about the module and BCA, but if you want to talk a little bit about ABOS or anything,
Well,
all the
I'm on
fun
the
stuff.
advocacy committee, so I'm constantly talking about ABOS. If you're an outreach and are not a member of ABOS, you are hurting yourself. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Everybody across the country is kind of doing the same thing you are and have run into the same problems. If you have a bookmobile or if you are just getting started, it's constant chatter about that all the time. So to get on the listserv and hear, people post every single day about, oh, my board approved the bookmobile last night, now what do I do? You don't have to start from scratch. It's been done, time and time again, and everybody has pointers. So please join ABOS. It's not expensive. They even have a group fee, amount for if you have multiple people in your department. It's a fabulous group, and everybody is kind.
Yeah. And it's a great networking group, and there's a wealth of information that you would get from the ABO site. So it'd be worthwhile to join and be part of the group. The conference was fantastic. It was a great success. There was a lot of key speakers and a lot of different programs on a variety of topics. So they're very helpful and full of information.
Yeah, Ryan Dowd was one of the speakers this year. I think everybody from around here knows him.
What did he speak on?
Homeless.
Just dealing with problem patrons and homeless patrons that every library has, sometimes problems with. It's his buzzword is empathy. So it's how to treat them as humans but still get your point across.
Great.
He tries really hard to give you tips so that the last thing you do is call the police, not the first thing you do. And as far as I know, there's only a few libraries that have a social worker on staff at this point. So, we kind of all have to do that.
And you said you all gave a presentation?
Yes, we had created disposable kits for our memory care groups while we were on slow down or totally locked down, and they were as well. And we tried doing things virtually, but the facilities didn't have the infrastructure like CCTV and things like that they could project to the rooms. And even the staff weren't allowed in the rooms, only to deliver meals and help people to the shower. So try to break up their day, we created kits that had games in them, activities, stories, try to do something to break up the monotony of them being locked up in rooms for weeks on end. And one of the pieces was a lacing card, where you have the holes and you lace around a picture.
Oh, okay.
I had figured out how to do one of those out of foam core board, so I did a demonstration how to make those yourself. We wanted everything to just be tossed when they were done with it. The less sharing, the less spreading of germs. So
Yeah.
Right, and we got a lot of feedback from the activities and personnel, the director, that they were helped a lot by using the kits, and it was a lot of support for them to have something ready-made, ready to go, and they can use it right away when they get it. So there would be either word searches, and there would be short stories in there, maybe a legend, poems, and a lot of activities, the games like Lynda mentioned, and a craft that people could put together. They would just construct it. All the pieces were there, and all they had to do was put it together. So it was so ready-made. So it was very
and
helpful.
we're talking about memory care here, so everything was basic, but we also, like, we created a Price is Right game that they could play, and we put on the instruction sheet that it could be played in multiple ways in case they did have people that were more cognitive than others. So, and we included all the puzzle parts and pieces, and one of them was finish song titles, and the songs all had numbers in them. So there was a card with the song title with a blank, and then little discs of things with a number on it, and then they had to just place the disc on the card that had the right number to complete the song title, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Matching
That's
game.
cool.
Yeah, fun, engaging,
Yeah.
educational, and easy to use, and adaptable. So you can modify it depending on the people that you're working with.
And we did them almost monthly, so they could, throw it in the garbage after it got its workout, and then a new one was going to be coming. And we just, we met them at the door with gloves and masks and said here, and they were glad to take them away.
Are you all going into the facilities now?
I'm going into my facilities now, but I have been locked out of assisted living and my memory cares. Every one of them has had to lock me out for a 2 to 3 week period if they've had a positive. They have to have 3 negatives before I can come back.
Okay.
And I go to one with Lynda, and we do in person, but the rest of my facilities are contactless still. So
Okay.
I deliver the books and materials in bags and place them in the lobby, and the activities director and the activities people take the books and deliver them to the patrons. And then I also pick up the same way. So they're contactless. And I also do some books by mail, where I would just mail them. So
That sounds great. You guys are doing great things.
Thank you. And that's the kind of thing we were on a panel with 2 other libraries that were doing similar things for our presentation. It wasn't just us. So they had so many people submit presentations on kits that they had to blend us together. But even though we all were doing kits, they were all enough different to give people that many more ideas. So
that's great. I feel like, especially with, how locked down we've been for, the past 18 months. I was wondering how, outreach services were going. I imagine it was going to be very, very busy for you all. So you said you acquired a new facility. Is this a new one to your area or just new to the library?
Well, there's two new in our
Oh, okay.
library district. One is senior independent apartments, and one is a full from independent to secondary memory care. And they were started building them before COVID and finished as we were starting to open up a little bit, and then we all went back to masks. So we got in, and we contacted them before they even had residents, and they were all very excited about us being able to come. And we were doing them, 1 or 2 patrons at a time until we got enough where we were making too many trips there. And now we have scheduled visit times for both new places.
Oh, that's great.
And we added 24 outreach patrons last month.
Last month. Wow.
Last
Wow. Y'all are busy.
Yes, we're busy.
That's great.
And of course, unfortunately, we lost some, but every place that we lost some, we got new people, and maybe even more, because it's fresh in their minds now.
Yeah.
Right. So there's more books, being delivered, and increased communication, I think was key. So we did a lot of more emailing, phone calls. I even got texts. Some people would text me, for information and for book requests. So that was a key thing during this time where maybe we weren't seeing people, but still communicating.
Yeah.
And, we never did hear, at least in St. Charles, say, we will deliver just because you're afraid to come out. One time I had a panicked mom call. Father was on the 3rd floor with COVID, and the kids were home from school because they were locked down in the basement, and she was on the middle floor trying to keep everything together. And she goes, "Can you please just bring me the books?" And I said, "Okay, sure." And I drove them out there, but she never called again. It was a save her life that one time, and no one else called and said, I'm just afraid to come out, can you bring them to me? So everything was still within our facilities and our regular homebound deliveries. Anyway,
that's interesting. I would have thought more people would request to have delivery services.
We didn't advertise them, but what we were told was if somebody called, that we would make the effort.
Yeah.
Because at that point we weren't going to our regular places regularly, so we had a little more time on our hands.
Yeah.
And we were in that other school.
Oh yeah, during your renovation, yeah. Now you're in your new library, and
although we're sitting in the Carnegie building right now, so it's over 100 years old. But they treated it well during the rehab, and it's more open to the public. It's always been open to the public, but the way you had to get there was a little hidden within the library. But now it's the first thing you see when you walk in the door. So it's the quiet reading room, the newspapers and magazines, and then we have study rooms, genealogies back here. So.
Oh, great. I heard it was beautiful.
It is beautiful. They did a great job.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to check the chat and see if we have any questions. No, it doesn't look like we do. I'm going to stop the recording unless you all have any objections to this.
I'm good with it.
Okay.